Number 7, we have the equation r equals 4 cosine of theta. We're asked to convert this from polar form to rectangular form. So converting from polar form to rectangular form, we're generally going to use these equations here. And we could plug in square root of x squared plus y squared in for r, and we could plug in inverse tangent of y over x for theta. But notice if we look up at this equation here, we get that x equals r cosine of theta. So if we were to divide both sides by r here, these would divide to 1 and we get cosine of theta equals x over r. Let's use that. That's going to be a lot simpler. So we'll just replace this cosine of theta, and we'll leave the r for right now, but we're going to replace this cosine of theta with x over r. So we get r equals 4x divided by r. And now let's get rid of that fraction by multiplying both sides by r. We get r squared equals 4x. Now we can replace this r with the square root of x squared plus y squared. So if r is the square root of x squared plus y squared, r squared is just going to be x squared plus y squared. Now let's subtract 4x from both sides. Remember, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get it to look like the rectangular form for a circle, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And so if we bring this 4x over here, we get x squared minus 4x plus y squared equals 0. Now what we want to do here is we want to make this a perfect square trinomial, one that we can reduce down to something like this. And to figure out what number needs to go here, we're going to take this number, negative 4, divided by 2, so that's negative 2, and then square it. Negative 2 squared is positive 4. So what we would really love to have right there is plus 4, because x squared minus 4x plus 4 is going to factor down to just x minus 2 squared. And we can do that as long as we do it to both sides. So let's add 4 to both sides here. You may remember this from earlier algebra classes. It's known as completing the square. So we get x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus y squared equals 4. And now, as I said, this is going to factor down to x minus 2 squared. And then this, the rest of it remains the same. And that's going to be our answer right there. X minus 2 squared plus y squared equals 4. All right, so when we go to graph this, we can graph it either using this here. This tells us that it's going to be an offset circle. It's going to be symmetrical about the x-axis. It's going to be to the right since it's positive, and it's going to have a diameter of 4. If we graphed it using this, we could see that the center is going to be at 2, 0. So that's right there. And it's going to have a radius of 2. So this is r squared, so the r would be 2. And you can see that's going to give you the same circle.